Hey everyone, I am Sarah Jamieson. I am owner of Firefly Fiber Arts Studio. We are an all-natural and sustainable yarn shop in Wicker Park, Chicago. Today I'm going to teach you how to crochet, and we will be using our Learn How to Crochet kits that we have available on our online shop and our store as well. So all of that information will be down in the description below. You can order your kit from our website, fireflyfiberarts.com. And I will be teaching you how to do a chain stitch, how to start your foundation chain, and how to do a single crochet today. So let's get started. So in your Learn How to Crochet kit, you should have a tapestry needle, a hook, and your ball of yarn. So why don't we take the hook out of the packaging. We don't need to use the tapestry needle, so we're going to put that aside. And you can take the label off of your ball of yarn and pull out the end. There we go. That to the side. All right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to create a slip knot. So how to create a slip knot? What you're going to do is you're going to create a loop with your yarn, just like that. And whichever end is on top, you're going to go under, put a loop through, grab the ends, and tighten it. A slip knot, you can make it bigger or smaller, whatever you need. So let's do that again. So we do a loop over. This is the one that's on top, so I'm going to bring it under. I'm going to grab a second loop, hold on to the ends, and make a loop. Then I'm going to put that onto my hook. But first we have to figure out how to hold the hook. There are two ways. You can either do the knife hold or the pencil hold, whichever is comfortable for you. So what I usually tell people is to set the hook down and then to pick it up. And whichever way you pick it up and naturally hold it is generally the way that you're going to crochet. Now, if you're halfway through this video and you're like, this is really uncomfortable, go ahead and try the other way. There's nothing wrong with that. Your hands will kind of guide you and let you know what's comfortable and what's not. And throughout the video, I'll show you both ways. Also, we hold the crochet hook in our right hand, but if you're left-handed, you can hold it in your left hand. It's not right or wrong. Just know that if you're reading a pattern, that it is written for right-handed crocheters. I will be showing this video in my right hand, so if you are crocheting left, just know that you'll be doing the opposite of what I'm doing. Okay, so we've picked up our hook. Now we put the loop onto our hook, and we're going to tighten that loop around the hook. You don't want it too tight. You want it to still easily go up and down the hook, just like that. Okay, so we've got the loop on our hook. The next thing we need to do is we need to figure out the tension with our left hand. So what I do is I grab with my 3 fingers, then I take my first finger and I go under and around. This little part here gives me tension and control when I'm making my stitches. Let me show that to you again. So I'm going to grab, take my first finger, go under and around, just like that. You can do it with just 1 or 2. Then I'm going to take my middle and my thumb, and I'm going to grab the tail right under the knot. you should have about, 2 or 3 inches of yarn right here that we're going to work from. All right, let's make our first stitches. So the first stitch we're going to make is called a chain stitch, and this is our foundation. So this is what we're going to build off of for the rest of our project. We need to make 16 chain stitches. I'll show you how to do that. So we have the loop on our hook. We're going to take our yarn and we're going to yarn over from back over the hook to front. You want to make sure that your hook is in this up position. I'll show you how to yarn over again. Make sure your hook is up, and we're going to yarn over from back over to front. If you look at the top of your hook, your yarn is wrapping around clockwise. Then we're going to put our hook into the down position, and we're going to slide that through our first loop. So now we have our first stitch right there, and we have the loop right there on our hook. We're going to do that again. So that is 1, yarn over, 2, and then I'm going to move my fingers to right under that loop again. Just like that. Let me show you pencil hold. So we're going to yarn over, back over to front, pull through. Our hook is up, back over front. You see how that naturally catches it. And then I'm just going to turn it from up to down, just a half turn. Don't do a full turn. Half turn, and then go through. If you're having trouble going through, it just means you're a little tight. So just try to loosen up. See, I have room right here. I have room to go through. All right, let's see how many I've done. Let me show you how to count it. So if you look here, you'll see that on the side, I have these little waves. This is what you count. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 waves. We do not count the loop on the hook. That does not count. It is not a stitch. So I have 9. So I gotta keep going. All right, 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Great. All right, so that is the chain stitch. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, as you can see on mine, I have some stitches that are smaller, some stitches that are a little bit bigger, and that's totally fine. This is just our foundation chain. You're not going to be able to see it once you stitch over it. So don't worry about it being a little wonky. It does not have to be perfect. All right, let's start making our first single crochet stitches. When we crochet from right to left. Unless you are knitting left-handed, then you will be crocheting left to right, but generally right to left. Make sure our left hand has tension and we're holding the hook the way we want to. Okay, so we're going to skip this first wave, skip this first chain stitch, and we're going to go into the second one right here. we're going to take our hook and we're going to stab it under that wave. We're going to yarn over, back to front, pull through. So we have 2 loops, 1, 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to go into the next stitch, not into this one. This is one we just went into, that's why the hole is bigger. We're going to go into this next one, stab through, yarn over, pull out, and then you notice I take my fingers, my middle and my thumb, and I put them right under. I kind of flatten them over the stitches I've made, right under this tunnel. Yarn over, back to front. My hook is in the down position, and I pull through. If you're having a hard time pulling through, usually that means you're not giving yarn. I'll show you what that means. So I'm going to go into this wave, yarn over, come out of the wave, readjust. Now, if you're having a hard time pulling through, it's because you see here, you're not giving any yarn. It can't come through if you're holding the yarn really tight. What you want to do is make sure that this right here is not tight, but is just taut, nice, taut enough for you to have control, but loose enough for it to move. Move through. Let me show that to you pencil hold. Go under the wave, grab, come out of the wave, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's your rhythm for the single crochet stitch. You're going to go into the stitch, grab the yarn, come out of the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. And don't worry if your piece is curling. It's very natural. Wool is naturally curly and it likes to curl up. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's just going to do that. That happens for knitting too, crochet and knitting. There they are. We're making little columns. And we're going to keep doing this until we get to the end of the row. So go under the wave, grab yarn, come out of the wave, yarn over, pull through 2. Now the hardest part about learning how to crochet is the left hand. If you're feeling frustrated with it, don't worry. It's going to be the hardest part. And really, it gets better with practice. So just take your time and just keep going. You'll get the hang of it. All right, so I'm at my last stitch. And I know it's my last stitch because there's the knot that I made. So I'm going to go into it just like all the other stitches. And I'm going to finish that row. And you can see that it has a nice square right there. There is our first row. Looks very nice. So we're at the end and we crochet right to left. So how do we do the next row? Well, I'll show you. First, we have to build up. So we have to build to the height of our row. So we're going to do 2 chain stitches. Remember, those are just yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. There's my 2 chain stitches, and then I just turn my work, and here it is. Now I can go right to left again. All right, when you look at this work, you notice it looks different than the chain stitches that we did. If you notice this vertebrae right here, I call these bridges. And what you're going to do is we're going to skip this one. And we're going to go into under our second bridge. So I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to go under that bridge. And just like any bridge, there's a right lane and a left lane. You want to make sure you go under that full bridge. You don't want to go under just one lane like that. You want to go under the full bridge. So we're going to make sure that our left hand, there we go, my yarn is ready for me to use it. Again, we're going to skip this first one. Don't go in here. You're going to start adding stitches if you do that. We're going to skip it. We're going to go into the second one. Just like on the chain stitch where we skipped that first one, we're going to do that here. We're going to go under our bridge. We're going to grab our yarn. Remember, it's going to go right to left. It's going to go over. And we're going to pull it out of that stitch so we have 2 loops. Again, I adjust my fingers so they are right under those loops. I yarn over front to back with my hook facing up, put my hook in the down position, and I go through the tunnel. That's the single crochet hook, and you're going to do that to the end of the row, just like you did before. Let me show you pencil hold. Make sure you go under the bridge. There's my 2 lanes on the bridge. Grab, come out. I have 2 loops. I yarn over. I go through the tunnel. There you go. And again, we just keep doing this to the end of the row. And I'll show you guys how to spot that last stitch. It tends to be a little bit hard. How to spot when you're at the end of the row, and then we'll turn again so you can see how to turn one more time. There's my 2 lanes. I almost just went under one, so we gotta make sure you go under both of them. If you notice when I go under, see this hole right here? That's where I'm sticking my hook. And it puts me right under those lanes. Go under. And grab yarn whenever you need it. Okay, so here's the last stitch. And it's a little hard to see because he's been pulled this way. So we're going to make sure that we go under. We finish off our row. And you see, now our row has a nice square. You don't want it slanting either way. That means you've either added a stitch or you're missing a stitch. So you're missing that last stitch. All right, so let's turn. Remember, when we turn, we're going to do 2 chain stitches. Yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through. Then we turn, and we are back to going right to left. We're going to skip the first stitch. We're going to go into that second one and make sure you go under the bridge. Right there, both lanes. And then you just keep going. If you're watching me crochet, you'll notice that I use my thumb and my first finger to kind of hold on to the stitches when I need to. That's just a personal way to do it. If you feel that, go ahead and do it. It just allows me to control the stitches a little bit more. It's not necessary though. Everyone kind of has their own way of doing it. I'll show you the end of the row one more time, and I'll show you the turn one more time. Into the stitch, pull out, yarn over through the tunnel. Eventually your hands are just going to muscle memory it, and you'll be able to like watch TV and stuff while you do this. All right, so here I am at the end, and again I'm at that last stitch, and you notice I haven't done it yet. So it's square and then it's kind of slanting this way. That means that I haven't finished. And this last stitch, you see how small it is? It's pretty small. We're just going to go right there into that hole and finish off the stitch. And then once we finish it, it's nice and square. So again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. There's your 2 chain stitches. You're building that column up. You're building this part of the row up. And then you turn your work. You skip that first stitch and you keep going. We're going to crochet this until it's about 20 inches. And then I'll show you how to finish up. I'll see you guys in a bit. Welcome back. And I'm back here. I have crocheted about 20 inches of my piece. And there's a couple things I want to go over so that you can see if you're making any of the common mistakes that usually happen when you're first learning how to crochet. As you can see on my piece, again, it's normal for it to curl, so don't worry about that. But my edges are really nice and straight. If your edges are going in or out, then there's some ways you can fix that. If your edges are going in and your piece is getting smaller as you're crocheting, what that means is you're most likely missing that last stitch on the end of your row. So make sure that when you crochet, you finish in that last stitch. It can be hard to see, but just make sure that when you get to the end to double check and make sure you don't have an extra stitch that you, or the last stitch that you need to go into. If your piece is getting bigger as you crochet, so your edges are going out, then that means that you are putting more than one stitch into the row below, into the stitches below. So when you're crocheting, make sure you only put one stitch into each stitch below. So those are some common mistakes that can happen when you're first learning to crochet. And as you practice and crochet more, you'll get better at that. So don't worry about it too much. Just keep practicing because you'll learn how to read your piece as you keep going. All right, so you can keep this open if you want to make a nice scarf. You can make it longer than this. I want to make it into a cowl or an infinity scarf, basically. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. First things first is I finished this row. So I need to put in my 2 chains and then I need to turn my work. But this time when I turn my work, I'm going to join it. And either I can just join it so that it's a straight cowl, or if I can make it a twist. Give it a little twist. I'm going to give it a twist. I think it's fun. So that way the piece will have a cute little twist in it whenever I wear it. Okay, so let's join these pieces together. First thing you want to do is you want to take the end that you're going to join and you want to put it on top of the row that you were last working on. So you want them to be even, just like that, sandwiching them together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually not going to skip this first stitch like we usually do. And we're not going to skip it because we want a nice even join all down here. So I'm going to go into the first stitch on this first row right here, and then I'm going to go into the first stitch on the second row. So I'm under 2 bridges right now. And then I'm going to pull through so that I have 2 and pull through. And I'm going to do that for each stitch. So here's my next stitch. Go under both bridges. And just making sure that they're even. And just crocheting them together. As you can see, I just am looking at where each one is, taking my time to put these together. Okay, I'm at the end, and even though they're small, I still have 1 stitch left. So I'm gonna finish it. There we go. All right, now to finish this, all you have to do is make a chain stitch and then either cut, or you can just tear it off. Pull that out and it turns into a knot. All right, so we're not done yet. We are almost done, but there's my join. So you'll have a little seam. All right, so now we're going to take our tapestry needle and we're going to thread our yarn in. And how we do that is you pinch the yarn over the eye of your needle. So there it is pinched, and then you just kind of push it through the eye. Pull it out. And you want a little bit of a tail. You don't want to put a knot in it. You just want a little bit of a tail, like that. And then we're just going to sew it into this seam. So I'm just going to do back and forth under the bridges. You can kind of sew it any way you want. This is how I'm going to do it. But under the bridges is just really easy. All right. And then we're going to cut that. There you go. So now there's no tail on this side, and we're going to repeat that on this side. So I'm just going to go under. I'm only going to do about halfway. You don't need to do too many stitches. I mean, 5 stitches is plenty to weave that tail in. There we go. So now we have no tails. It looks very nice and neat. We turn it inside out. And there it is, our cowl. All done. Now you can wear it outside when it starts getting cold. It's your first project. Congratulations. If you have any questions, be sure to comment below this video. I will have everything in the description for you. You can also email us, firefly@fireflyfiberarts.com. We're happy to help. So yeah, thank you for watching and happy making. Thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please comment below, or you can email us, firefly@fireflyfiberarts.com. We are happy to help you. If you really like everything that you're watching, please subscribe, please like, and we will see you next time. Thanks, guys.